This week on Pivot with Purpose.
It's talking about women making you hot?
No, talking about marriage and adoption and IVF makes me nervous. As I bought condoms
So not
yesterday.
the women? Oh, did you? For what?
What do you use condoms for? To clean?
I don't know. I've never used one. Clearly.
Oh, wow. And we're going to stop for a quick little sponsored message from Safe Sex. Please use condoms.
Brown skin girl. Skin just like pearls.
You're so silly.
Welcome back to another episode. You're back. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Last week's episode was actually really good. I got really good feedback for, what's his name? Lee coming in, the self-aware narcissist. We are going to do a part 2. I keep saying I'm going to do a part 2 with people. Now this is the second time. I've not lied to you, but kind of deceived you in a way, because the people that I'm saying I'm going to do 2-parters with, if we don't do it the same day, it's really hard for our schedules to get back together. He's literally in Australia right now.
What?
Yeah. So it's really hard to get our schedules aligned. But Mandy is one that we're going to have on again to finish our conversations. And Lee is someone else that I want to have back, because we have tons of things to still talk about when it comes to narcissism, especially someone who is diagnosed with narcissism. So shout out to everyone who saw it, who left me messages on YouTube, on Instagram, all emails saying that you finally understood it. And he has a huge following. So, and he posts like a lot. So whether it is that I feel in a way that he has, and I think I asked him this during the episode, whether he's using social media as his new sense of validation.
Oh.
Right. So it's like, is it validation? No, it's not validation. What is, as a source of, what's it called? They need it. What they need. What they suck away from you.
Your life.
Whatever.
Your soul.
He's soul snatching from social media. No, it's like validation.
Yeah.
Their source of,
I don't know where you're going with this.
Forget it. The point is that he has tons of stuff on social media to help us. So there we are.
Did you ask him that?
I did.
Yeah?
He said that in a way. Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow. He was brutally honest.
He was very honest. And I appreciate that, It's just like, I'm not your wife. Just tell me the truth at the end of the day. Plus, on top of that, I do know a lot of people that are in the public eye that definitely have very high traits of narcissism. And I wanted to ask the questions. Like, I know they bullshit on a mic and they say things that aren't real. So are you lying to me right now? 'Cause I don't know you like that. I just see your videos. So it's like, are you bullshitting me right now? Are you telling me the truth? Excuse me. And I feel like he was pretty honest. But today we have Paola in the building. We're recording on St. Patty's Day. It's a triple whammy today. We have St. Patty's Day. I should have worn something. No, it's not going to be St. Patty's Day when this releases. So it's St. Patty's Day. And it's also Friday, so it's time for us to turn up a little bit. And it's also Paola's birthday. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
I already used my voice to sing happy birthday to her today.
She did. It was so special.
Wasn't it?
It was.
It
It was
sounded
like
good,
like Marilyn Monroe singing to Kennedy.
That was
what you were going? You see?
Yeah.
I got that.
Okay.
You
good.
You did it.
I definitely wanted to give Marilyn Monroe vibes. Without that, I want to smash you afterwards.
Oh,
but,
thank you. Appreciate that. I would have
Happy
made our
birthday,
relationship awkward.
You made it to 34.
I
How
know.
does it feel?
I'm happy today.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm happy
I
today.
love that.
I feel happy today.
Okay, good.
I got my nails done.
You did. They look great. She had a tattoo yesterday.
I got a tattoo yesterday.
She's going on a date later.
No, I'm not. Don't say that out loud.
She-
Relax. There's
Sorry.
a lot of people on the roster that might
kidding.
listen to this, and I'm not going out with anybody.
She's going out with me later today.
I sure am.
Which is true. We are going out
I'm
later.
wearing a dress.
You want to wear?
I'm gonna wear a dress
Who is she?
with heels.
Oh wow.
I know. I need you to
We're
step it
gonna
up.
look very different tonight.
Come on, it's my birthday.
Your birthday.
Make that my gift. The tequila shot was not a gift. That was for the both of us.
We'll find a different gift. You like flowers? I'll get you flowers. Heels? It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I already bought a green T-shirt. It's V-neck.
Okay, you're gonna show a little bit of the brown skin.
I'm gonna show the brown skin, and I'm gonna wear probably these jeans right here.
Oh.
And then we're gonna go to Janine's house because it's also Janine's birthday. If you remember, I don't know what episode it is, way back when we talked about actually her adoption process and her finding out that she was Mexican when she really looks white, but it's beside the point. So yeah, happy birthday to you, and thank you for showing up on your birthday.
Of course.
I mean, isn't this fun?
It
This
is.
is fun. Okay, cool. Thought she was saying
It is. No, I enjoy doing this with you. You have made me become more. I think I had this conversation with you or somebody else.
We might have her on camera this time.
No.
Yeah.
simmer down.
Okay, sorry.
Don't get too excited. No, it's made like doing this has made me become more vocal about stuff. Like I think I've talked about a lot of things that I haven't talked about in years with you here.
Yeah, so podcasting, like I've always said to you, is a form of therapy for me and a form of spoken journal in a way. So I've spent 5 years talking onto a microphone. Microphones have looked very different throughout these years. You know, I had one that sounded like I was in a bathroom. I've had others that, you know, as I learned, they got better, and now we're here at Hi Hello Labs, and I'm like, official. So it has looked different, but my voice has always been the same, and it has developed, and I have grown with a lot of you. Shout out to a lot of clarity calls and consultation calls that I've had this week. And
you've been busy.
I can't remember her name, and I really wish I would have wrote this down. But there was she's 50 some odd years old, and I know you're listening because she's like, I've been listening since I'm 30, and I'm like, oh, and she's in her 50s. So again, I'm very intentional with the content that I put out, and it's very specific, but that doesn't stop other people from listening. She's 50 some odd years old, right? And I'm like, well, what do we have in common? And she's like, well, you inspire me to do certain things. And I'm like, you know what? I love that. You know, the same way that I have Tatiana. Hey, girl. She's coming on the retreat. She's 20 something. I still say she's 12, but she's like 20. Same thing with Ari. Ari, I think now might be 25, maybe. I don't know. I still think she's 21. But I have such a large range of people that listen to the show. Like I have Stefan. I believe you're in your 20s. He is in the LGBT community, right? And it's just like, oh, wow. You know, same thing with Courtney. Courtney found me from the show.
I love Courtney.
I love Courtney.
Shout out Courtney.
But yeah, basically all this to say, podcasting has made me have a community of people, and thankfully it's virtual. We'll see y'all in person every day.
That's the best part.
The best part is that it's virtual. So before we get started with today's episode, I do want to shout out Marissa188. She left a review on Apple Podcasts. If you have not yet, please go do so. And you guys love to send me messages, and I'm like, hey, oh my God, thank you. Because you leave me this long message, and I'm like, did you leave that on Apple? And they're like, I have not. And I'm like, can you please go do so? Just leave me a message on Apple, just because it does help the show. So Marissa, she says, love some Carla. Fell in love after the Don't Rush Challenge, which this is crazy because we did the Don't Rush Challenge.
Oh man, that was a crazy
that was
year.
During quarantine.
Yeah, the pandemic quarantine.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic where I did it with like Lex, Drea, Mandy. Who else was in there? I think the Good Moms Bad Choices girl were in it, if I'm not mistaken. A bunch of like the podcasters girls that now we're. Let me finish reading your review because that's really fun. So fell in love after the Don't Rush Challenge. I can relate to you so much. Great way to start my work week. Keep on being you. Much love from Denver. Denver, have you been to Denver?
No, but I want to go.
I do too. I want to go just to smoke in the middle of the street.
Okay.
Like my dad did. Because I want to recreate one of my dad's pictures. Only reason why. So maybe I'll see you in Denver, girl. One of these days.
I love how different we are. It's like, I want to go skiing. I want to look at the mountains.
Oh, no. I just wanted to go smoke some marijuana in the middle of the street. Well, today is St. Patty's Day, and I was at work. And I realized that, did you know St. Patrick is a person?
Yes, it's a saint.
Oh, so it's not a person.
It's saints are people. I'm not Catholic. So don't quote me.
So were they ever walking on earth?
Some of them, and then, again, don't quote me, but it's like they were alive at some point, they did something great, and then they got inducted into sainthood. Just like Mother Teresa.
It's going to be St. Carla one day.
I don't think they're taking any more applications.
I'm sure they have to add a podcaster in there somewhere, and it will be me, damn it. But, you know, the only St. Patrick I know is James St. Patrick from
Power.
Oh, he fine.
Is he?
It's the worst thing that he's not in real life.
I think his character has BDE. And
yes.
Omari just has
LDE.
Not LDE, just proper.
No, it's not proper. He doesn't give it to me. Great actor.
Amazing.
If you're watching this, James St. Patrick,
don't take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
Please hit us up.
But let me tell you something. Just along with like millions of women, you are fine in power. But you know that's the only James St. Patrick I know.
Talking about fine black men, Method Man.
Method Man is like 100 years old,
and
beautiful.
He's amazing.
We finally agree on a man.
He's mine.
Take him.
Okay.
I just want to watch him. He's married.
He is. He's been married for like 20, 30 something
She gonna
years.
get your ass. She's gonna be like, he's mine. But you can watch him. No, he is beautiful. He really is.
God bless him.
So he actually just talked about Young Miami.
Mm-hmm.
People were making fun the internet. I'm not going. Y'all know I don't come on this podcast to talk about the internet doing internet shit. But leave Young Miami alone. It is what it is. Y'all watched. they got what they wanted. Ratings, and clicks and tweets and Instagram views.
Would you go on her show?
Carisha?
Yeah, Carisha, please.
I would.
You would? Oh, man, we got to make that shit happen then. I need you.
They're going to do Carisha, please, and they're going to be like, Carisha, please, don't.
No.
We don't know her. What the hell is she going to talk to me about?
I'll give her some cliff notes and I'll be like, just do this, talk about this, and then get her liquored up.
Carisha would be
Please
amazing.
call Carla.
I love her. She's such a true Miami girl, like
She's
Florida girl.
such a Florida girl.
She's such a Florida girl. And we're Florida girls, so I get it. But this episode is definitely not going to be about Carisha, please. This episode is going to be all about rest and my Mexico trip.
Yes.
But really falling into rest because I just realized I've never in my life rested. This is my first time taking rest. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I went on a solo trip. I booked a week prior to leaving in tears my trip to Mexico. And I went to Playa del Carmen, which is like 45 minutes to an hour from Cancun, where you land. And it was the most amazing 5 days I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
Now, a few things that I do want to say about this trip. If you've never taken a solo trip like I didn't, apparently a lot of people have. I hadn't, and a lot of other people have not. So I had no idea that in a solo trip, like it would take some time to first even get to the resting point. It took me about 2 days. Day one, I plugged in my computer. This is how funny God is. Day one, I plugged in my computer and I was like, I'm just going to watch Netflix. And then I happened to open my email and I'm like, I did a little work. When I got up, I went to go unplug my charger because it was full. My charger broke.
Oh.
It stayed stuck in the plug and the thing just snapped.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm like, if I keep using my computer, it will really die.
Yeah.
So I just had to close my computer and not open it again. So that was day one. So my computer was never open during the whole trip. So that was the purpose. But God was like, I know you and you're not going to stop. So that happened. And then another thing is that we get caught up in like, where are we going, right? Where to go. And I spent, my goodness, maybe 2 months trying to figure out where to go. And I kept changing locations and not wanting to do this. And it took a lot for me to do something uncomfortable. I didn't want to hit click on the
reserve.
Yes, I didn't want to reserve it. And I finally reserved it a week prior. I ended up paying more because of that. So don't do that. It's really stupid. But I was burnt out. By the time that I hit reserve, I didn't have anything left in me. I was depleted. And I would say definitely don't wait until that point because I probably need a little bit more rest than the 5 days because of where I got. But now I'm going to implement this into my routine. But what is rest? Sometimes I thought I would rest. I thought a Sunday, after church, not doing anything was rest, but it's not. It really isn't because my mind is still going. It took me 48 hours for my brain to shut down. So a little bit of what I did. Cost was not a thing for me. And I will say there's something where we always say money doesn't buy happiness, and it doesn't. I really don't think money buys happiness. But this is the one time where I realized money doesn't buy me happiness, but it does buy you the ability to rest. It buys you the ability to be able to take time off. And it buys you the ability to be able to get better with your mental health. And if that's where you're going. Now, if you have all this money and you're not in that frame of mind, then money can buy you what it's bought many people. Cocaine, whores, niggas, clubbing. No, but it's the truth, right? You can get all this money and spend it in the club or do what Job did and spend 50 grand on strippers, pull a gun on live, and now you lost endorsements and all these things, which that's another thing that I was having a debate with someone recently because he believes that him spending 50 grand at the strip club was excessive, and I don't believe so. But we can have that conversation later.
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll have it after this. So the solo trip, definitely do it. Again, I went to Playa del Carmen. I took a limo. I was gonna take the bus, but I got a limo when I got there.
You're gonna do it, you might as well do it.
I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I wanted to make sure that the trip started off on the right foot. And it was $100, right, to take me there. And he gave me beer on the way there. He gave me a little hot or cold towels. What is that supposed to do?
Clean your hands.
So why not just give me a wipey?
Because you paid $100 for the limo experience.
Okay. I never understood what the cold or hot or whatever. I got a cold and I just felt so weird. I'm like, this is not my lifestyle. Like, God knows this is not me, but I'm going to take this cold towel. He gave me water. He took all my luggage. He was just so nice. And just sitting back there during the ride, I didn't post it publicly, but it just felt good to know I had no worries about where I was going. Then I got to the resort, and I think that very first day, I was on the phone with Ayana and Wendy, like, most of the day. I even called you.
Yeah.
I was on the phone rotating because I didn't want to be alone. It felt uncomfortable to be alone. And then finally, about day 2, it's when I just put my headphones on, started listening to audiobooks, and went into my zone and just did nothing.
Yeah.
Rest doesn't mean going on a trip and having a full itinerary of things to do. You have a list of things you can do and you can choose to do, but you don't have to.
Yeah, it's if you want to.
If you want to. And most of the time, I really spent it. I was in the pool by 7 a.m., the pool area. I always had this big old bed thing that I was laying on, and there was barely anyone around. I got a very small resort. I'll tell you the name of it. The name of it was called Yucatan. Playa del Carmen is a Hilton boutique hotel. Very small hotel, but beautiful. Everything was included, food, drinks. And if you like booked you with them, you got like a free zip line or something else, which I didn't even do.
Aww.
I didn't even do because I didn't want to.
So you're the opposite. Like, for me, if I were to do something like that, girl, I would have done all the activity because I like doing stuff like that.
But me too. But I was tired.
But you went with the purpose of rest.
Yes.
I want to do a trip with the purpose of being able to do what I want to do with nobody saying, I don't want to do that. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Or like if I go with adult people, I don't really want to do that. Like, I'm scared of heights. Like, who's afraid of heights? Well, that's such a weird fear. But like, I'm scared of heights, or I don't want to do this. And like, I want to do a solo trip where I can just do whatever I want. I want to do zip lining. I want to go scuba diving. I want to do as much as I can. And for me, that's fun.
And it is, because I ended up doing like the boat situation, and I walked around. Now, the first day, I will say, it was funny, or the second day when I went out into the city to walk around, because I would go out close by and then come back to the hotel. Just need to get a drink.
Getting your feet wet.
Right. And then walk out and go to like see a few more stores and then come back to the room. I'm like, let me just go freshen up. Bullshit. I was just anxious, I'm like, I don't know anyone. Is anyone watching me? Am I going to get abducted? The second I got there, they killed those 2 Black people in Mexico. But also, I will say, I don't know all the specifics of it, but it seems like the area that they were into, they shouldn't have been there. They were trying to get a deal on allegedly on a lipo or a tummy tuck or whatever, some
mommy
type of
makeover,
procedure, some type of procedure. And they went through an area that probably wasn't the best. Listen, you come here through Pine Hills to the wrong area, and you might not make it. Right. Go through Puerto Rico in the wrong area, and you might not make it. You're going to another country. Like, sometimes we got to use our fucking brains about stuff like this. And I didn't feel, I had, some people trying to instill fear in me while I was there. It's like, oh, look at this. Be careful. And I'm like, leave me alone.
Well, I told you, we had this conversation. I'm like, wherever you go, doesn't matter where you go, it's always going to be dangerous.
You can go to Disney World and get kidnapped. Raped.
You can.
Like, killed.
We're a huge city for child trafficking and sex trafficking because we're such a tourist city. People don't think about that. People go to Millennium Mall.
Millennium is extremely dangerous.
People be at Millennium Mall, and it's like literally a skip and a hop away from a place where people have disappeared. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it doesn't matter.
So it can happen anywhere. I did do a lot of research on the hotel. I checked like Travelocity. I checked Expedia. I was reading reviews all the time, like the most recent reviews within the last year. Okay. I read a lot of reviews. Like, someone were like, oh, there's tiles missing from the pool, and da-da-da. I saw them missing. The tiles are like a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch, because
the little ones.
And I'm like, shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
You're
like, it's
Mexico,
not that
like,
serious. Right. Why do I care about I'm laying in this water and it feels amazing. So I do recommend a solo trip for everyone. How do we stop anxiety and being able to rest is another thing. Is like, I felt anxious a lot of times, but it was like, girl, you're here. The kids are fine. Mm-hmm. Work is fine. I checked in a couple times. I took one call, and it was about a McDonald's sponsorship campaign. So you probably hear it either now or in a couple of minutes. When you hear that McDonald's ad, it happened. You know what I'm saying? So it was a call that I needed to take, but that was it. I didn't take anything else. So just whatever balance looks like, I don't know. But a solo trip is imperative. Even if I do think you need to do at least 4 days. You should do at least 4 days. But even if it's somewhere locally, do it. And I know that the budget, sometimes you're like, well, I might not have the money. There's a way to do it. I know there's a way to do it. You can find a way to get it done. You have PTO. You can save up. Even if you have to save up for the next 6 months, right? And then to take those 4 days, do it. We all have a space in we choose what to spend our money on. You go to Starbucks.
Exactly.
You go out to eat with your girlfriends. Just save that for 6 months for this solo trip. Sometimes we save it for like a car or whatever. Save for the solo trip. You fucking need it. It's imperative. I can't believe I didn't do it before.
I told you I want to do a weekend trip to Tampa just because I want to go to
Take Friday off and leave Friday early morning and don't come back till Sunday night.
I said I want to do it in the summer. I want to take a trip to go to Tampa to go to this like pool party rooftop situation that they have over there.
Leave Friday at 6 a.m.
That doesn't even entice you. Like a pool party on the roof with people. I want to do it. I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
And you shouldn't. Go by yourself.
Yeah.
And go in and see who you meet. You might meet the love of your life. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm not a lesbian. So I don't
Oh, it's a lesbian party?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Okay, then you're going to have a great time. But you never know.
It's because it's...
Hey.
No, I have a great time with people, but no, I'm not a lesbian.
She might turn you out. You might get turned.
Pretty sure I'm not.
When is this party?
It's in the summer. I don't know.
We'll talk about it in the fall. She might come in here with a new wife because, they move quick.
My wife?
Yeah. No. Lesbians. You move in the next weekend.
I don't want a wife.
And you then start talking about adoption.
What?
Like, quick. IVF. Is that what it's called?
What?
BMF?
Next topic on the docket.
Okay, moving right along.
It's my birthday. Me está haciendo sudar.
Me dio calor.
Me dio calor. No,
that might be a good thing. Don't men make you hot?
Shot.
It's talking about women making you hot?
No, talking about marriage and adoption and IVF makes me nervous. As I bought condoms
So not
yesterday.
the women? Oh, did you? For what?
What do you use condoms for? To clean?
I don't know. I've never used one. Clearly, yeah.
Oh, wow. And we're going to stop for a quick little sponsored message from Safe Sex. Please use condoms. Not only to protect yourself from babies, but also STDs and STIs.
Okay, I need to, maybe when I start being sexually active, like, y'all, it's crazy how.
Condoms have changed?
Don't know what the fuck is happening with condoms, bro.
I even used the coupon. I'm such a saver.
Not the coupons on the fucking condoms.
I had $3 off. They came out to
How much are they?
They were like $7.59 for a 10 count. But there were some that were on clearance for like $2. Those were gone.
The aisle was clear.
It was clear.
Well, that makes me happy though to know that people are practicing safe sex. I haven't even been sexually active. This is so weird because Carlos is here. Okay,
this is where you draw the line. This is where you draw the line with Carlos. Condoms. Okay, good to know. Tápate los oídos and close your eyes.
No, don't close them. The camera might fuck up and you might not see it. No, like I haven't been sexually active and I don't want to. A lot of people ask me for this trip. Are you sure you were by yourself? Who was taking your pictures? First of all, y'all are weird. Self-timer, bro. I was putting it up on
or what if you ask somebody,
one thing, can you please remind me? I know that this is not your job anymore, but remind me to order a tripod.
Okay.
I don't give a shit what anybody thinks anymore. I am traveling with a tripod.
You're an influencer.
I am going to be influencing with my tripod.
Yeah, do it.
I will, because I kept trying to put it up on the little umbrella thing.
Mm-hmm. Didn't work.
It kept falling. No, it worked. I looked amazing. Great pictures. I posted them. But it took a really long time. And I'm like, I could have like walked past the tripod like someone. I'm going to do the most next solo trip. Ooh. Y'all going to be sick of me. Hear me?
Prepare to be sick of me.
Prepare to be sick of me my next solo trip because I'm going to be prepared.
People are so weird. Why? I've asked someone to take a picture.
Well, no. Oh, actually, let me tell you something else I did. Did I talk about the queen?
Oh, yes, you told me.
So let me talk about the queen real quick and then we'll move on. So I met this guy. I was actually taking a picture and sending it to my friends and I'm like, oh my God, he is so fabulous. It was this white man. He had this hat on. He had a shawl across his shoulders, these little mini shorts, and he just kept walking around and like viewing, because it was a rooftop pool. So he's just viewing outside and I'm like, wow, he is fabulous. Then he walks by and I said, hello. I said, you know what? I'm finna say hello. Let me take my AirPods off. I said hello to him and he started talking to me and then he sits down and I'm like, let's order some food. It's on me. Obviously it's like not, but because it's all you can eat or inclusive. And we ordered food and drinks. So we're talking, getting to know each other. He has 6 bunnies. He lives in
like bunnies.
Yes.
Aww.
He owns like bunnies, 6 of them. They have a whole
You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah. He has rabbits. And he's from, I don't know, Kansas or Oklahoma, one of those
Midwest
places. Yeah, Midwest.
Oh,
And
wow,
I had gone on TikTok that morning and found a restaurant I wanted to go to. And it was called a Lux or Axul, a Lux, something along those lines. And it's a restaurant in a cave. So cool. So I was like, yeah, I'm going here tonight. He's like, oh, do you mind if I come? I said, you know what? No. Taxi's going to be downstairs at 7:30. I already ordered it. 7:30 in the dot. I'm leaving. So he was like, okay, I'll meet you tonight, blah, blah. I get downstairs at 7:30. I call. He didn't answer his phone. I got a taxi. I left. I really meant, I'm here on a solo trip. So if you want to come, come. If you don't show up, not my problem. So like at 7:45, he hits me. He's like, hey, I'm downstairs. And I said, well, sir, I'm on the way to the restaurant. Because I said 7:30. He was like, oh, I said, well, you can take a taxi. Here's the address. You can meet me there. He said, okay, I'm on my way. We get there. I'm ordering. I ordered 2 lobster tails.
Okay.
I ordered pork belly. I ordered my drink. I was having a good time. I was like, I'm gonna splurge. This is one meal I'm having outside of the hotel. When we were done, he was like, don't worry about it. I got it. I said, no, honestly, he said he was gay, but what if he's bi? And he's expecting to pay for my meal, and then we're going back to the same hotel. Yeah. So what he's trying to get to him, I'm like, I'm good. I got this. Like, I pulled out the Amex so he would see it. So I'm like, I got money, I promise. And he's like, no, I got this. And I'm like, fuck.
Thank you.
Okay. You know what, God? I see you.
Right.
My bill alone was like $200.
Wow.
Right. So he's like, I got it. And he paid for the bill. And then he took all my pictures while we were there. We walked around the whole cave and he was taking pictures of me, angles and everything. You know how gay guys are. He did his thing.
Now he's back to being gay.
Yeah, he stayed gay. And then I'm like, I got the cab back. It was $10. So I paid for the cab back. And then we went our merry way. Oh, no, we went upstairs, got a drink. And then I was like, okay, good night. It was like 10 o'clock. I was very tired. And I went to sleep. And then the next day I saw him, said hello. And then I was like, all right, I kind of want to be on my own now. And he left. I put my headphones on.
You told him you want to be on your own?
I did. So we were talking for a little bit. And I was like, I don't feel like I want to talk anymore. And he was like, okay, no problem. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to listen to my book now. I didn't want to talk.
Okay.
And I felt like it was a perfect trip for me to tell people.
To be selfish.
Yes. Like, I love that you're here right now, but now I don't want this anymore. And I want you to walk away. And I want my time. And he was cool with it. He went and made more friends.
That's how I end my relationships. I don't want to talk anymore. This is not working out.
Oh, you cut them off for good? No, I mean, I said hi to him afterwards and stuff.
A couple of them.
I met another guy from Canada, a black guy from Canada, and a Spaniard girl. And they were there, and they were all down each other's throats. And I'm like, wow, amazing. Love is beautiful. Then I found out they just met the night before on Tinder. He just snuck right to the hotel.
Love is beautiful.
Then she left the next morning to Spain. It was great. They were just matching for the day. Found out he got fired. His girlfriend had just left him, so he was just swiping on Tinder in Mexico on a solo trip.
That's what's up.
Right. So I was, pretty open to speaking to people, but also spent a lot of time with just my headphones on, listening to
calling us.
The first 2 days, yes. Yeah. But then the rest of the time, it was mostly like my books. I finished 2 books. It was great. One of them was called Fuck Marriage.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't like that. It was like, it ended up being a column, and she was writing a column called Fuck Marriage.
Oh.
The title of the book is a little But yeah, it was a great book. It reminded me a lot of Sex Life. Even the names were similar. It was very much like Sex Life, living a life
I have to watch that.
Watch it.
I watched the other one, and we talked about that one.
You were watching porn. That was very different.
Wow. Give context. Don't make people think I'm this crazy wild animal.
Well, it was.
I'm not.
So I watched Sex Life, which is very sexually explicit, kind of. Well, actually, no, it's very sexual in nature. But you watched 365?
365.
365.
There's a story.
All porn has a story.
Not really.
Okay, you would know better than I do.
It really doesn't. It's just
we were not here to talk about porn. We're here to take a solo trip, and you don't have to have sex with anyone. You know what? So I did receive a message from a hater. It was like, "Oh, if y'all dare at least strap up," and I'm thinking, "Strap what up?" I'm not dealing with anyone. People that think that way, that if you're alone, you have to be fucking. No, that's you have to be fucking, not me.
If somebody sent me that message, I would have sent a video. Be like, you know what? Actually, I forgot. And I would have sent a video.
I didn't even bother responding
Something in my
to
library.
that because I'm like, it doesn't even deserve a response. Like, I know that I'm relaxing, and honestly, sex right now doesn't sound relaxing.
I would have sent it, and then I would have turned off my phone.
That is wow. I don't think I'm not there. I'm not there just yet. But I am going back to Mexico May 4th for the Tulum trip for Synergy. I know.
But don't worry, you're gonna make it better by bringing me back my diet pills.
You want more?
Yeah. There's 2 more.
Oh yeah, I did. I was definitely a drug dealer. I brought her some
You were a good friend.
I brought her some stuff. Also, everybody told me I could find weed in Mexico, and all I had to do was walk up and down Fifth Avenue. And my feet, I literally have like, what's it called when you walk? I have blisters on my feet from walking up and down fucking Fifth Avenue. Nobody offered me drugs.
They probably thought you were the one offering them.
People probably thought I was something. I just kept walking up and down. All these police were walking around. No one offered me drugs. Finally, one person did eventually. And when we hit the corner, he was like, vengo para atrás. And I was like, what? And that really means like, I'll be right back. And I hit the corner because I'm trying to be like, discreet, just looking at my phone like I'm not really following him. When I look up, it's like 5 cops coming. And I was like, I ran into a Senor Frog, felt like the U.S. Embassy. I'm like, I'm safe here. I ordered tequila shots and I ended up getting molested by the
assaulted?
This girl grabbed my boobs while giving me a shot, but I was so nervous.
And bent you over.
She bent me over too, Jesus Christ. So when I ran into Senor Frogs, I was so nervous. My heart was in my throat, and I'm like, someone definitely knows I was trying to...
Give me a shot.
I felt like they knew that I was trying to do a drug deal. That's what happens when you're doing illegal shit. So I go in there, I'm like, give me a shot. She's like, do you want to? I'm like, yeah, one for you too. Fuck it, I don't care how much it costs. So I didn't know that the shot girl is she gives you these shots and then starts doing this whole thing where she like messes around with you. Working there is a thing. Whatever. I was so nervous. I'm like, grab my tits. I don't care. As long as I don't go to jail, just don't send me to jail. But yeah, no one else offered me drugs after that. So I went on a boat excursion, and there was a white man there. His name was Billy. Not kidding. His name really was Billy. And when we landed in Isla Mujeres, I'm like, okay, Billy, you're really cool. And I feel like people have probably offered you weed while you've been here. He's like, they've even offered me women. And I said, what? So we walked around Isla Mujeres, and it was true. They offered him a book, and they were like, here, look at my sister. Prostitution. Book. They were showing me pictures of women. Do they do that in Mexico like that? Have you ever seen that? Oh, maybe it's a tourist area. Well, they were like, here.
Don't take me to that Mexico.
Mi hermana. Yeah, it's a different Mexico. So they were showing pictures of the sisters. So for prostitution. Yeah, they're like, mira mi hermana. That's what bullshit. And then they also offered him cocaine. And then they also offered him, oh yeah, definitely human trafficking. They weren't their sisters for real, but they were like selling women, selling cocaine and weed. And I'm like, perfect. Can I just get a little bit of weed?
Oh, wow.
And they sold Billy the weed, but no one ever offered me. And I just felt like I do drugs now. So don't I look like it? My lips were sunburned, a little dark.
Oh my gosh.
Offer me something.
Okay.
I don't know, like okay,
no.
Whatever. Point is that I got some weed and I ended up having to get a little pipe to use it because they also wanted to give me like a whole thing away. I'm like, sir, I just need a nugget to like smoke. Anyways, I got my drugs.
That's how they knew you didn't look like you
but
did
it was
drugs.
shit weed. So moving right along. What I was trying to say here is that I'm going back to Mexico. You got me distracted. And I've had a few women tell me that PTO, they can't. That we're still waiting for a PTO to be approved. And I just wanted you to really touch on this because I don't know what that I don't remember.
You don't know what that feels like?
Well, kind of. I think I've always been the type that...
For Carla, PTO means prepare the others.
Correct.
It's not a permission. It's prepare the others because I won't be here.
Yeah, I'm not really requesting. I'm more like...
letting you know I ain't going to be here.
I won't be here.
Yeah.
So, but I know that's not for everyone. And I never really took time off like that from work before.
Okay.
When I was working corporate. So what are the rules with PTO and that your managers aren't approving it? Like, I have the time. Approve the shit.
Yeah, it's different for every company. I always say, read your employee handbook.
What is it? What will it say?
It has a whole section on PTO. It has a whole entire section.
It's so amazing. I just looked at my text messages and he sent me who St. Patrick was. I appreciate that, Carlos.
No, but there's a whole section in your employee handbook that tells you what are the guidelines for PTO, when can you take PTO, like when can you start taking it if you're new hire, how much time you get. Sometimes like the company that I work for, if you are gonna request more than a week, it's like a special request.
Okay.
So it's just like if you, for example, I know somebody that got married. They got married like outside of the country, so they were gone for a month. That's a special request PTO. Like,
and they approved it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they shouldn't be denying your PTO. I always say,
but why did they just keep you in this limbo? Like,
they can't. They can't leave you in limbo. You need to tell me.
This girl in limbo.
Well, I would say one, check your handbook. Look at your handbook and look at the PTO guidelines. Sometimes there's like, oh no, 2 people can't be out at the same time for a team. Or this, that, and the third. Look at your handbook. Look at your guidelines. Look at what your repercussions might be if you call out. The company that I work for, you got to call out 7 times before you get on a written. You can't get fired until you're like on a 7th step. Written is number 1.
And I've heard you tell me most people do not read their employee handbook.
They don't. I don't know why. They signed that they read it, but they didn't read it.
Right.
Like all your loopholes are in your handbook. Literally, all your loopholes are in there. So if your managers or your boss doesn't approve your PTO, look at the handbook and just send an email saying, hey, per the employee handbook, this is what I'm available to. I'm sorry, I need to take this time off. And if they deny it, then look at what the repercussions would be if you call off. If you call out for 5 days and it counts as 1 day, people call out the 5 days. You'll be fine. No. At that point, you have your handbook to fall back on.
Well, go read your employee handbook, and we have 3 spots left for the Synergy Wellness Retreat. Yeah. I don't know if you need it for anything else, but if you need it for Synergy, for those of you that have messaged me, we have 3 spots left. We leave May 4th to the 7th, so you essentially will only be taking Thursday and Friday off. Mm-hmm. I'm super excited because now I'm talking to a woman that does stuff for Tulum, and we're getting more activities like locked in and really like locking them in. Ooh. I'm really, really excited about what this trip will be. And I'm really excited and got super emotional the other day about our journaling workshop. So our journal workshop is going to be sick. It's going to be so good. So you can just you can go to my website, carlawilmeris.com, and go to where it says latest. And there it gives you the information for the retreat. But one more thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to when it comes to something I saw online about women, specifically, we are in Women's Month, it was Ashanti. So Ashanti posted this picture like on vacation. Mm-hmm. And apparently it's going viral on social media. Some haters talking about being fine. A fine 42-year-old with no kids and nobody want to marry you is not a flex. What? And now some people are like, oh yeah, she's single. All she does is vacation all the time. She just looks good and nobody wants her. First of all, projection.
Who said they don't want me?
Right.
Who told you that?
Who? Nelly wants her.
A lot of people want her.
Like, Nelly wants her back, actually. Wants her back.
Yeah.
He's been out here and still wants her back. So, honestly, women get this
negative.
Yes. Like, if you're alone, and I'm experiencing it now because I never, and I've said this before, I always thought that women that were single and happy, I was like, you're quote unquote happy. You miserable bitch. You wish you had a man like me. And I'm like, no, I was the miserable one with the man. And it's absolutely, you're able to feel good alone. Yeah. And if you've never been in this space, I do not expect you to understand it. Mm-hmm. Just like when I talk about finding your purpose, unless you've felt it and you've been there, you won't know what it's like. And I didn't know what it was like to be single and to truly be fulfilled by yourself without needing another person.
Yeah.
So with her, it's like she's been here. She's 42. She's had niggas.
She's fine. She got money. She's happy. Why
she
not?
Is good. And how do you know she don't got a nigga?
Right.
He's probably taking the picture. Like, the internet sometimes gets things misconstrued. I say the internet, but really sometimes a lot of people around you. Mm-hmm. You know, people that you know, family members or so-called friends that are like, look at her, or look at this, and might say slick things to you. And know that if you're happy where you are, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Like, I'm a single mom of 2 kids. One is about to be an adult.
Shout out
to her being an adult. And then another one who's a toddler, like literally he's a terrorist. So I'm good. I'm good, but a lot of people look at me and they're like, "Wow, you're a mom of 2, so who's gonna want that?" And I do get some of those messages, right? Blocked, quick, and in a hurry.
I can't believe people.
Because people just want something to do. They're bored.
I mean, I remember when I was with Ryland's dad after we had broken up for a couple months, and I was like completely like not entertaining any more text messages and stuff like that because I knew that there was nothing. It's like he resorted to the whole, "Oh, nobody's gonna want you. You're a single mom. Like, look at you now, this, that, and the third." And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't think, at that time, it was like, you're hurting my feelings. But now I'm like, if you only knew how many people.
Right. Like, and it's not even about the people. Even if no one,
you don't put it out there.
I really don't have anyone trying to get to me, you know, or trying to get with me in a way. Like, I mean.
Guys, the summer's coming.
Not really.
The summer's coming.
But she's brown. I'm brown if you like a brown skin girl. No. Seriously. I don't think I'm putting out the energy just because I'm so busy.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. If someone does want to get with me, don't. Because I don't have the time for you. But all I'm saying is it's okay to be alone. Yeah. Finally, I can understand it. I can finally say this like truly from the bottom of my heart, meaning it. It's okay to be alone and be happy. And I'm about to be 36 years old in May.
Whoa.
Jesus, I'm old. No, but I'm not. And if I, honestly, so I think I've gotten in my head that I won't, or, no, I'm okay with the fact that I could be turned 40 and still be alone. Kid you not, I was thinking about it the other night and I didn't cry. I was like, it's okay. I was like, it's just 4 years. That is only 4 more years. And you know what I can get done in 4 years? And
Look
if I
what you've
meet
done
somebody,
in a year.
look at what I've done in a fucking year.
Look what you've done in a year. Imagine
wild.
4.
It's gonna be wild. I'm gonna be so fine.
You're gonna be in Italy, tits out.
Absolutely. Titties out, ass out. Can you be titties out in Italy? I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, cool.
They're more flexible with their.
Oh, perfect.
You can also do it in the beach in Coco.
Did you hear about what was going on Playa Linda?
No, I'm going there soon. What's up?
So the last year during the hurricane, the signs fell. The nudist signs fell. So people are going there for spring break and they are distraught. Talking to the news about how there's no signs and they're seeing naked people.
Oh my God.
It was so ridiculous. I'm like, calm down. They don't want you there either.
Those old people do not give a good
listen.
God damn about who watches them.
This one lady was like, my husband was there and he noticed 2 men doing lewd acts. And I said, first of all,
no, they
people
don't.
At nude beaches, no, maybe they were scratching their balls because some sand got in between.
Right.
That is not a lewd act. That is the same thing you do with
pants on.
Take the fucking sand off your balls.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. You're naked.
Yeah.
So ask your husband why he's looking at them. Why that caught his eye.
What made you look at the lewd act?
If you didn't look at the lewd act, how did he see it?
Exactly.
Your husband's gay.
How did you know the act was
2,
lewd?
there was another bitch that was like, oh my God, I just walked in. There was just this fat man naked. And I said, well, was he not going to be fat when he puts swimming trunks on? Were the swimming trunks going to make this man skinny?
I will say this.
I'm going to add the audio. Imani, remind me to send you the audio for this part right here because I literally have the audio of the people complaining.
Hear that.
It was uncomfortable. She was covering her eyes.
And there's big fat guys laying there like this. No, I don't want to see that kind of stuff.
There's no law against being nude. Frustrated because there was no sign. There was no warning for us to know what we were going to experience. My husband noticed that they were both doing lewd acts to themselves.
I mean, I've been to that beach before. The first time I went, I was like, whoa, I wish I was this confident. These people of all shapes, sizes, and ages are just walking around like they're in the Garden of Eden. They're just like,
no, they don't care. I went with my dad. Sounds weird. I think I've told this story before. This is the year before he passed away. We were at the beach, but like the regular one. And then we left my mom and Ayana in the car and we're like, let's go see like what it is.
Let's go see what
let's
this
just go walk.
is about.
So we parked the car and we went walking fully dressed. And we both looked at each other and we thought we were going to see something different. It was old people.
Yeah.
Like micro penises.
Yes.
Ladies with like tits that fall under their armpits.
They make you look good.
I felt like Tyra Banks.
Oh, yeah.
I almost told my dad, walk away so I can get naked.
The second time I went, I was topless. The second time I went.
Oh, you've actually been?
Yeah.
To the nude part?
Yeah.
Like nude?
And I wasn't not naked. I just told you I was topless.
Well, shout out to you and having letting them tatas out in Orlando. Good for you.
Thank
you. The part with Playa Linda and the people with the shimmy.
I'm drawing the line.
At topless?
Yes, my line is topless. You see how we're different?
No. Well, what's it called? Wendy loves to be naked. She loves the nude beach.
I just don't want to get sunburned on my nipples. That might hurt. And I get sunburned.
Oh yeah, no, she's naked at the beach all the time. She has no what's it called? Tan lines.
Good for her.
I like tan lines.
I wish I could be Wendy free.
I don't want my uterus out.
Why is your uterus hanging outside your
I
body?
feel like salt water will go in my cervix.
And you think a little piece of cotton is like ironclad covering you and water's not going?
Yes,
what?
Yes, I do.
You know what I've noticed?
What?
You love the rose-colored glasses. You like that.
I like positive things.
For example, you will do a Brazilian wax, but you won't do the middle. You leave a strip.
No. So the strip was this time. I usually do the whole Brazilian. But this time I went before Mexico's the night before. Jenna's waxing me. And I was like, you know what? This hurts. She's like, do you not want to finish? I said, I don't.
But you're already there.
Hi, no. That part right there. You see Jesus. Real close. Like your life is ending. And I was like, today I don't want it.
It's just funny. Like, where you draw the lines.
I have some weird lines.
It's
I sure
weird
do.
as all get out, but hey, and it makes me look like the crazy wild one when I'm just so
But you
innocent.
are more wild, and it's okay.
I'm not that wild. What was that? That was like
we won't talk about it here.
What's the name from Encanto? The one that hears everything when she goes,
Oh,
that was that.
La prima. Yeah. Won't talk about it. Before we move on to our advice section, I do want to talk about BetterHelp. I'm having some issues right now with my therapist. So my therapist kind of went ghost. She's missed the last 3 appointments and then doesn't answer, hasn't texted me back. And I feel like she's going through something. And in a way, I'm like, you can't go through shit. Like,
Oh.
I mean, you can, obviously, but I'm like really distraught. And I don't think I've lost, hopefully I haven't lost her. Maybe she's just going through some shit, but I haven't been able to get a hold of her. And then she'll message me, like, yeah, we're good for next week. And then she doesn't show up. It's been 3 weeks. And I've been with her for 6 years. So this is like, it's hurting my heart a little bit.
Oh.
No, I cried.
Because you miss her?
Because I need help right now.
Oh.
I'm going through some shit.
She probably is too.
I know.
She's a human being.
I know. But I never saw her as a human being. Well, I did. It's
Okay. And
The
this
point
is why
of-
she's probably not answering your
The
calls.
point of this is that I am going to be switching therapists. So
Aw.
BetterHelp. This is where I talk about BetterHelp. And if you need the therapist, I need to switch it. I stretched it as long as I could, but I have to go back to therapy. So since she can't help me at the moment, I'm going to ask for a new therapist. But BetterHelp is a place where you go to get your needs assessed. They're gonna match you with a professional, licensed therapist. Like, she really is licensed, but she's also human apparently. So you can start communicating with someone within 24 hours. So by this week, I'll speak to someone, I'm sure of it. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. I really want you to get the same type of therapy that I get. Talk therapy. You can do there's all kinds of different therapists that you can go on there. So it's way more affordable than traditional therapy. And I know this for a fact. And I do like when it comes out of my account much cheaper than paying for regular therapy. So you'll get 10% off, because you're a listener of Pivot with Purpose. So go to betterhelp.com/PWP. Get, professional therapy ASAP. They do have financial aid. Do not sleep on their financial aid. Let them know I ain't got it, and they will work with you. I promise you. When I ain't have it, they definitely work with me to the point that a therapy session was just as much as me going to go get some tacos at a restaurant, like a nice restaurant.
For real.
But it was still tacos. So go get that help, betterhelp.com/PWP. If you have a question and you need advice on something, please, it could be anything, career, relationships, dealing with your mental health in any way that I can help you. Not a therapist, but I think I got enough experiences because I'm crazy. Send me an email at askcarlaramirez@gmail.com. You can DM me as well, but I probably will reroute you over to the email so I don't lose it. Today we have Carla, I need advice. That's what I'm here for, baby. The biggest challenge that I'm facing is in my quest to become more disciplined is giving myself proper rest and relaxation. I'm getting a lot of these questions because of the trip that I posted. When I suffer burnout around 1 month for every 6 in the past 2 years, it's really bad, and I often have to start from scratch and build myself back up. If my progress and discipline was a graph over time, it would look like a jagged mountain peaks. While the trend is upwards, the ups and downs are tiring me out, and I want to stabilize as I get older. So that is her dilemma right now. And I can tell you what I know and what I've done, but I'm trying to do again. It's all about discipline. And right now I'm not disciplined with self-care, I would say mostly.
Like altogether self-care?
Yes. Balancing my self-care and not burning out. So I've done the same thing. I'm leaving when I'm burnt out completely. So now I am going to start incorporating, like, there's some things that I want to do. So I'm having Stephanie add it to my schedule, blocking it out. Also, I'm, dealing internally, which I'll speak, in the coming weeks, maybe months, of something else internally that I'm battling with, because sometimes I don't trust myself if something's coming from the devil trying to destabilize me and get me, like, feeling funny, or if it's something that I really feel in my heart. And I don't want to make a decision off of feelings, because I could be feeling something, but where is that feeling coming from? Is it from myself? Is it the devil trying to push something on me, or a narrative that's not it? Because that happens very often as well. So I need to figure out where it's coming from. So in the coming months, I'll be talking about, something that I'm pulling and tugging with right now, and it's really big in my life. But for you, I would say definitely it's all about discipline. Put it on your schedule. If it's not on my calendar, I don't get it done. So right now, working out is not on my calendar, and I'm refusing to put it on my calendar. I really am. I'm not doing it. So my plan is to really sit down with my team and saying I need to put time in my calendar for it and just get it done. I know I just have to go, even though I'm uncomfortable.
For me, self-care has changed since the pandemic started. Before the pandemic, when I had to be in the office, I would schedule 1 day a month, and I called it my mom day.
Okay.
I would, at the time, Rylan was 3 years old. She was with my mom. I would leave my house in the morning, like I was going to work. I would leave the house at 8:15, because that's the time that I left for work.
Take PTO?
And I would take a PTO day from work, and I would go do whatever I wanted to do by myself the entire day, and I would be home by 5:30, 6 o'clock, which is the time that I would normally come home. I would go get a manicure, get a pedicure, go to the movies, go to the mall.
Oh, the movie sounds relaxing.
Like I would, and it's matinee, so it's
cheap.
cheaper. I would go
There's
to
no
a
one there?
restaurant. There's no one there. I would go to a restaurant and have like a lunch, and I would sit at the bar, hang out with the bartender.
Olive Garden lunch is the best. It's like
That's your
$10.
spot.
Olive Garden is my spot. Unlimited breadsticks.
Yeah.
You get unlimited soup, unlimited salad.
Yeah.
It's like $10, $12.
Yeah. So now my self-care looks different because now my daughter's 6. She notices everything about me. If I get my toes done, she'll be like, "Oh, you got your toes done.
Yes, I did.
Where were you?" And I'm like, What? So it's like, and when I try to escape, somebody always finds me. You will call me. What are you doing? I thought you were at work. What's up? What are you calling for?
I mean, I don't care what you're doing.
No.
I actually keep telling you quit your job. I don't have a.
No.
It's not
No,
a good
it's
idea.
not that. No, it's like, no, I always say, I've noticed now whenever I try to escape, someone always finds me. And it's always when I'm trying to do something I'm not supposed to be doing.
Oh, that's God, baby.
I
That is
just
God making
wanna
me
have
call
some
you.
fun.
But if you know you're not supposed to be doing it,
I'm not hurting anybody.
okay. Well, then you just do it. Then it's not something you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, we won't talk
Next
about
item
it
on the
then.
docket.
Next item is one more letter. This one says starts with help
Oh,
in
wow.
all caps. I'm 30, single, no kids, and I want marriage, and I'm starting to freak out.
Whoa.
Wow.
30?
30. That's it.
Girl, what I would do if I was 30 with no kids.
I know, but I get it.
Help wouldn't be the words I would be using.
I go, woohoo! Some days I feel fine and I tell myself I still have time. Other days, like today, I take a look around and realize essentially everyone I know at my age is either married or in a long-term relationship, long-term. And that even if I met the right guy soon, it would be years before we could think about having kids. It doesn't help that I'm visiting my sister who's 33 and she's concerned because she doesn't feel like she's in the right place financially or health-wise to have a baby. She's really stressed, which also increases how bad I feel. She's so worried and she's been with her husband for nearly a decade and I'm just a few years younger than her and I'm still single. It makes me feel like she's so stressed in her position. I should be really freaking out more than I am. I first of all, I am so sorry.
Can I answer first on this one?
Yes.
She said that everybody that she's around, her friends are all married or in long-term relationships. You need to find people that are in your situation. Young, single, happy. Because then that'll change how you look at where you're supposed to be. If you're in a group of people that are like the married group, the couples group, and they invite you out, not saying that they're not good friends, but if that's all you're around, then yeah, you're gonna feel less than because you're the odd person out. So like hang out with people that are single. You might find your mate in that single group.
Right.
Like look at it that way.
I feel like you're doing a lot of comparison.
Yeah,
And
comparison is the thief of joy.
Thank you. Comparison is the thief of joy. So stop comparing your journey to someone else's journey. 30 is not old. I do understand the biological clock. And if you want to talk about the biological clock, baby, you already lost it. They say that 27, your eggs go down. It's a science thing, right?
You're a geriatric pregnancy after 30.
Now you're already there.
Yeah.
But then I also was on this trip and met someone that had a friend. She came on a solo trip because her friend just had a baby. She's 49.
Wow.
Right. Has a 20-some-odd-year-old kid and now a 3-month-old. So she's like, I just left because I know she couldn't come, blah, blah, blah. So it's possible, you know, and the more you stress about it and you freak out about it is the more like you push it away because now you're like trying to force something that might not be there. I just say if that's what you want, put yourself in more single groups.
Yeah.
Go out more. Stop hanging out with the married ones because clearly you can't get their man. Just put yourself out there more. And if you do get their man, it's not going to be worth it. So don't do it. Definitely put yourself in positions where you can get this, right? Go maybe on some dating apps. Right now I follow, oh my God, her name is Glow, I think it is. I'll see. She's doing an amazing thing about intentional dating. Glow Graphics. Her name is Glow.
Okay.
Glow Graphics. She's a dating app advocate.
Okay.
And she's been for the past couple of weeks. She found her mate. They've been dating now. They found themselves on social media. She's black she's black and he's white, but from different countries or whatever. And she's a big traveler, but she found her person. She thought she never would. And now she talks about like all her experiences dating. Another place that you can look into, you know, dating online is Joy of Photo, a podcast that we launched, Dating Unsettled, which actually was featured on Fenty Beauty. Rihanna featured the podcast that we launched. So I'm like,
you're so close to meeting Beyonce. You're 6 degrees away from meeting Beyonce.
I was thinking about Rihanna.
Well, Beyonce likes Rihanna.
Oh, she does. They're friends, right?
Close.
Well, Check out Dating Unsettled. Look for people that, you know, it's 2023. Right now, there's a lot of dating apps, and it's probably one of the easiest ways for you to find someone. You have to filter through the bullshit, but you really have to filter through the bullshit in real life as well.
Go to Home Depot at 7 a.m. Lowe's.
You might get you a Mexican.
You might get you. Listen, if there's a guy at Home Depot or Lowe's at 7 a.m. and they're buying for their house, that house is going to look amazing.
It's going to look so good. That means you found a man that knows how to fix things around the house.
And you just save so much money. We were just talking about this. I need string lights that need to get put up.
I definitely... Okay, this is a podcast. It's going to live forever. But I definitely said I haven't had sex in a long time. But I was thinking about just finding somebody to smash that it's a handyman. I'm so tired of calling TaskRabbit people. If I were having sex with someone that knows how to do the kitchen and upgrade the bathroom, 6 months, it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Hey, it is.
Just saying, a little prostitution. But, you know, I'm giving you something, you're giving me something. It's like, I'm not doing it. Getting the kitchen done in 2 weeks. But anyway, the point is...
The honest way.
Yeah, I got to pay for it. That shit's going to cost me some money. But it's okay. I would just say put yourself in position. Stop comparing. Let's just leave it as my advice to you is comparison is a thief of joy. Mm-hmm. Be happy where you are and that person will come. Go follow Glow Graphics. Go follow Joy Ofodu and Dating Unsettled and put yourself around people that are in the same position as you are.
I want to have like a girls' night with people from here to go out one day.
People from where?
Here, Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Like to go to a bar or something to hang out.
Okay.
Carla will not be joining. This is a Paola thing. This is not a Carla thing. Just putting the disclaimer out there. If you want to see Carla, do not come and hang out with me. I'm just saying. Just letting you guys know. Don't get excited that you're going to see Carla out because...
You never know. It could be a thing. Today, like, we host...
Okay, be specific today. What time does it start?
7.
Okay. What time are you trying to be home by?
We won't talk about it.
10.
At
in
least.
bed.
10.
In bed with the covers.
Up to my neck.
So that means you got to leave around 9.
9:30. So if you need any advice, again, relationship, career, mental health, life, whatever it is, I can give you my opinion because I think you want it. Ask carlaramirez@gmail.com. I end every episode with a Bible verse. This one is not just a Bible verse, actually. I'm going to play, and I don't know if you guys heard it, but I commented under it and I wanted to bring it up. Today's Bible verse is Jeremiah 31:25, and it says, "For I will satisfy the weary soul, and every languishing soul I will replenish." I brought this one up just because I've been tired, and we have sometimes we're weary, we're worrying, we have all this heaviness inside of us, and God will tell you He's going to satisfy it. He is going to replenish us. So Jeremiah 31:25. Now, speaking of that, there's a pastor from Atlanta recently, and I feel like when I say these things sometimes, you can take it, it can fill you, you can look for it. Spending time in church is great, listening to your pastor. Mm-hmm. Seeing a post on social media with something uplifting is amazing. But unless you spend time in the Word, that's the way God will speak to you. Mm-hmm. That's the way you'll get to fulfill yourself. That's the way that you're going to make sure you don't have a worn out spirit. That's the way that you'll actually have connection with God. I can't connect you to Him. Right. Social media and the quotes can't connect you to Him. And even going to church every single Sunday listening to a pastor is not going to connect you to Him. And I'm going to show you a prime example of that right now from a pastor herself. Let's try this. I'm going to give this, I'm going to send the link to you. Imani. All right.
The woman from Atlanta that tried to come in between me and my husband. This woman says she's a prophetess. She got a word from my husband. I said, no, you ain't got a word for him. You got a word for us. Natasha Davis. I told you, I'm not your typical first lady. This first lady fight. And if I catch you in the street, I warned you. I warned you. I'm a Brooklyn chick. That'll never change. I'm just an anointed Brooklyn chick. And I'm coming for that ass.
Okay. I'm going to break down this video.
The situation.
There's a few things here. I kind of want to put the video up on the video. But if you're just listening, she is the first lady of a church. I won't even say her name.
Which is the pastor's wife.
The pastor's wife. Mm-hmm. She is also a pastor herself. She's a pastor herself. She is on in the pulpit. She is in the church in front of a mass of people, like masses of people.
Probably it's getting streamed.
It is getting streamed, actually.
Oh, okay. So it's more people.
Even more people than that. She's walking on a stage, or what's it called? The platform up in the front. And the back, it's a huge screen behind her.
Mm-hmm.
And that huge screen behind her is what are these things called?
The QR codes?
QR codes for PayPal and Zelle.
Mm-hmm.
PayPal and Zelle are in the background. Bigger than God's head, almost. Huge. And this woman is just on here like upset about something that happened into her life. Now, church, and I'm doing this during this segment because I ended up commenting under this, and I wanted people to understand this is not church, because I saw so many comments of people saying, this is why I don't go to church. This is why I hate religion. This is why I don't trust in these pastors. I said, this is not church, and do not be discouraged by this woman and this so-called pastor, because they are human as well. And sometimes they're just trying to get clicks. They're trying to get clout. They're trying to get PayPal payments and Zelle payments. And I'm looking at it, hurt.
They're hurt.
She is her, and she has all the right to deal with this. But one thing that we have to learn how to do is that she's in a position of power within the church. You have been anointed to be in this church. Yes, you might have been an anointed woman, but you brought that hurt to that pulpit. And you don't know who walked into that church that day. There might have been another woman in that church that just got cheated on by her husband, and she know another Natasha Davis. And she's going to leave that church and whoop that woman's ass because she said, I'm an anointed woman, but I fight. And then she said, well, if my pastor could fight, so can I. And is the church going to give her money for bailing her out? Now when DCF comes and takes her children because she's locked up and the kids are at home, what's going to happen? We have a responsibility as a pastor, the same way that I have a responsibility when I sit here on this microphone, not appointed by anyone, because I want to, because we can, is because it's easy. All I got to do is walk into Hi, Hello Lab, say, turn on the mic. If he takes me on as a client, if he takes you out as a client, and it's like, you just record and put it out there.
Right.
It's just that easy to start a church also, and you have a responsibility when you're using a microphone and speaking to people, and to use this under God, under being anointed, and so I have hands. That's not what church is. There are amazing churches out there with actual anointed people. But like I said previously to this, you need to spend time with the word. You need to spend time with God for yourself, because a lot of these pastors are giving us words straight from God, but what's your relationship to him? Are you understanding what you just were told? There's something there. So
also, they're human.
They're human.
They're human.
But I don't excuse it.
It's
I
not
don't
an
excuse it for her.
It's not an excuse.
I
But they're
get
human.
why. I get why it happened, because she's human.
Yeah.
But I don't think that woman should be allowed to be a pastor anymore.
No.
You can be.
No,
You could have
I'm not
hurt
saying
a
I
lot
agree.
of people.
I'm saying you can hurt a lot of people, but I always think of this ever since I was little, and I've been in church my entire life.
Right.
And I've seen, listen, ain't no scandal like a church scandal. Okay?
They're the best.
They are the best. They don't make it to the
You
shade
remember
room.
Green, the show? It was fake.
Greenleaf. Oh my God, that was a Pentecostal church.
It was.
That was a Pentecostal church. And I grew up in a Pentecostal church. Nothing against the Pentecostal church, but when I tell you, when there's drama,
It's every church.
It's drama.
Look at the priests.
There was
touching
a-
the boys.
most recently, I started thinking about it. There was a pastor he's from New York. He was a big pastor in New York. He cheated on his wife. He fell back. He's off social media. He fell off. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, he cheated on his wife. He's human. It happens. And it's like we as parishioners of a church look at the pastor like very high up and mighty. As a pastor, I bet you that's a lot of pressure. Like, you can't do anything. You can't do anything wrong because it's gonna reflect on you. I feel like if that stuff that she's going through, you're entitled to have those feelings. I don't think that you should have shared it in that platform.
She is absolutely entitled to have those feelings.
You should have shared that with your therapist. You should have shared that with a trusted friend.
You should have shared that with Jesus.
But
because if you would have went to God first and said,
Yeah.
I am feeling this, if you really would have sat there and had a relationship with God before you stepped onto that pulpit, you wouldn't have done that.
Right.
You wouldn't have done that, because if you have a relationship with God, he knows. You would know that's not the way to go. There are plenty of times where I even come here feeling a certain way. I did when I came in with LaRon, and I was ready to just go off. And I remember praying about it. It's like, you know what? It's not even worth it, because I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's listening and will intake. We take in all this information and we go to church. There's one thing that I did, pick up from my ex that he would always say, and it was like, church is like a hospital. Yeah. You go there when you're hurt. You're speaking to people that need it. To be poured into. They're yearning for something, and that's what you give them. I'm not your typical first lady. I fight.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
Like, what?
Especially,
and that's not saying she might be a great pastor in some ways, but it's time for you to take a step back, because you weren't able to differentiate when you lost something here.
Yeah.
You're dealing with something. Go deal with that and perhaps maybe come back or don't come back.
Right.
Choose that and figure out how that's going to go. But really what I want to say is, besides from her, that's not my church. That's not the church I go to. There are plenty of amazing pastors out there. Sarah Jakes Roberts, Pastor JJ here with Journey Church Orlando, which is also streamed online if you're not in Orlando. TD Jakes, Todd, I hear about. What's his name? Todd what?
Oh, gosh. Don't
Pastor Todd. I'm sure if you look it up, he'll come up. He's very popular.
Sarah Jake's husband. Torre,
yes.
Torre
Sarah
Roberts.
Jake's husband. Amazing pastor. There's so many anointed pastors that really take their job, because it's a job.
It is
serious. So don't get discouraged from this. And I would say Jeremiah 31:25 to the same pastor that just went through this, you know, he's going to satisfy your weary soul, and every languishing soul he will replenish. So whatever you're feeling with your husband or didn't happen with your husband, it shall to pass. So do not be discouraged from that. And y'all, although I'm giving you this, open up your Bible app or maybe Google it, read it for yourself, and try to get something out of it. I kind of like lead you to water, but I can't make you drink it. You're drinking it when you're actually spending time with God yourself.
When you're thirsty. When you're thirsty, you'll get it.
I'm thirsty right now.
Tequila shot?
No, for Jesus. Well, thank you for spending time with me today. Happy birthday to you again. Hopefully we're going to have fun. If you were on my social media, then you would have seen it. If you don't, follow me. It's at Carla Wilmares. I usually overshare on social media. So you can see what I do there on a daily basis. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast, our actual agency website will be live around April 1st. I have to do a photo shoot first if it's going to come out on the 1st. But go to idtolaunchpodcast.com. You'll see the course. You can use the code PIVOT, get $100 off for the self-paced course. If you want to do a clarity call with me, you're like, you know what, I'm not sure if that's what I want to do. It's $20 and you'll get some time with me and we'll figure out if I can even help you.
Because she'll tell you.
I'll tell you if I can work with you if I can.
She'll tell you, go back to work.
I'll tell you, I'm just not the person. I'm not the person to help you with your podcast or whatever it may be. If you want to go on this retreat to Mexico with us May 4th, go to carlawilmares.com, check latest or the description of this episode. You'll get all the information on the trip. And that is the episode.
That's it. Ooh.
That's it. I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.